Welcome to Up to the Minute. Todd Duplantis here, live from the HCCTV studios with my co-host this morning, Benji Escobar. You're making it a habit of getting here on time for the live shows, which is a good practice.
It is. You know, I love coming into the studio, being here on time. It's great.
Yeah,
it's no stress.
No stress. Yeah. So you left early enough and all that stuff. Charged the car last night.
Yeah. Always plugs it in at 10 p.m. Yeah.
Glad you could make it this morning. We are live on this November the 12th. Hard to believe, but 2025 is just right around the corner.
It is.
We're going to be talking spring semester here at HCC very soon. In fact, we're already enrolling for that. We'll talk more about that later in the show, but we want to thank everyone who's joined us live this morning on Facebook Live and YouTube. We're here every Monday through Friday, most days when HCC is in session live at 10 a.m. Benji, they can also catch us in social media and on the cable channel anytime.
Yes, we are live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page, not HCC, but Houston Community College District. We're also on YouTube, X, LinkedIn, and on HCCTV, where you can catch the rebroadcast of this show at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
So it's a Tuesday, which means it's Tasty Tuesday. And we've got a special guest joining us from Arizona. We're going out there to bring you the cuisine of our ancestors. Jenny Miller is the co-owner of Fry Bread House. Good to see you, Jenny. Thanks for being here on the show. I think there you go. Microphone's open.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're looking forward to hearing all about what you guys got going out there in Arizona. Benji is going to be with you very shortly, in about 10 minutes.
Great.
All right, we're going to kick things off right now, talking about a special event coming up, historical event that may sound familiar. Joel Criswell is the graduate assistant at Sam Houston State University, and he's the presenter of HCC's presentation called When Death Came to Boston. Welcome to the show, Joel. Good to have you with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so you're part of our speaker series, our history speaker series. I was just in Boston last month, spent some time up there. Beautiful city, a lot of history. I'm really into this, but I didn't, one thing I noticed, which was interesting, a lot of graveyards around that city, a lot of old graveyards, but I wasn't aware of this pandemic that hit Boston in 1722.
Yeah. Other than my kind of talk is about the first introduction of a new kind of early form of vaccine, but other different than any other kind of thing, there weren't that many kind of deaths compared.
Well, it looks like we're running into some connection problems with Joel. Joel, if you can hear me.
I'm not sure what. Other than that, there wasn't any difference.
I'm going to take a quick break right now because I'm running into some connection problems here. We're going to check with our director. We're going to be back in about 60 seconds. So let's take a quick commercial break right now.
At Houston Community College, we make your lessons matter. Open the door to real-world education, where passions become careers. Find out more at hccs.edu and let your success take flight.
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me and then you just linked arms with me. I don't think you know how much like that helped me. I finally knew that I had somebody.
Welcome back to Up to the Minute. We were running into a bit, we're we're doing everything virtual these days with bringing guests in. So at times you run into connection problems. So we're going to try to go back out to Sam Houston State University, where Joel Criswell is standing by. Joel, can you hear us? Let's see if your connection's working now.
I can hear you guys.
Okay, we're going to try to get through this interview. Public health crisis in Boston. Tell us a bit about the presentation you're going to be making. And this happened in 1722. Is that correct?
Sorry, you cut out a bit there.
1722, is this correct when this happened in Boston, which your presentation is going to be about?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 1721 in Boston. And this is entirely about the very first instance that inoculation, this early form of vaccine, was introduced into New England and kind of the English-speaking world to begin with. And so my research focuses actually entirely on kind of religious perspective, but not necessarily of religious perspective of this new medical practice, but I kind of talk about how this new medical practice and the debate that rose up around it gave space for a debate and kind of a questioning of the influence of ministers in the town. Because in that time, the kind of leading ministers in Boston held a great deal of social influence. And it was actually the ministers who encouraged and pushed inoculation at the time. It was actually physicians, leading physicians in town and common people who pushed back against this. But it's very important to keep in mind that it was novel, so there wasn't scientific experimentation encouraging at the time. So that's why they pushed back against it. And so my research focuses on that kind of debate and the religious ideas that framed it.
Taking the religious part out, can you see correlations with what happened then and what happened, it's hard to believe, 4 years ago here around 4 years ago here across the world? Do you see any parallels with looking back at your research from back then?
I don't like to, it is kind of hard to draw parallels from or make connections from the past because, well, we all have biases and it's very easy to essentially see what we want to see mirrored in the past. But kind of the basic thing I would say is that there was a great deal of kind of vitriol and name calling that took place, and that just didn't help. When the ministers were using kind of scientific arguments and stuff, the vitriol just kept each group from actually engaging, coming to viewing the evidence accurately and coming to kind of truth of that.
It's interesting because back then, from what you're saying, the ministers has the social influence. Nowadays, back when we had this issue a few years ago, the debate on the vaccines was taking place in social media. Were the ministers like the social media of that day?
Kind of, I guess, because the ministers obviously preach sermons, and a large majority of the population did go to sermons, so they had that large kind of powerful voice that social media definitely has, that large powerful voice today. So in that sense, I guess so.
I guess the biggest thing I'm surprised with is, which I was unaware of, even when I was up in Boston, is that number one of what happened there in 1722, but the inoculation was this. You're saying this was the first mass inoculation? Was it the first one in the United States or the Americas at the time?
Well, actually, inoculation had existed in African medical knowledge in the East for no one really knows how long. But this is the first time that it was actually in England, because England was also undergoing public health crisis at the same time. But this was the first time in Anglophone world.
amazing. And I guess we do have to look back at history to learn where we are today. Joel, I know we're having some connection problems. We're going to let you go a little bit early, but we appreciate you being here. I know we're going to be looking forward to your presentation when Death Came to Boston, and that'll be happening very soon. We'll have the information on your social media and the event in our post after the show. Joel Criswell, thanks for joining us from Sam Houston State University.
Thank you, sir.
All right. I'm going to turn things over to Benji. We're not going to take a commercial break right now. We got one coming up in a little while, but it is Tasty Tuesday, and I'm interested in hearing what your guest is all about. So why don't we get on with your interview?
Yeah, today I have Jennifer Miller. She's the co-owner of Fry Bread House. Welcome to the show, Jennifer.
Thank you, Benji. It's good to be here.
Of course. Thanks so much for coming on the show and honoring Native American Heritage Month. Can you tell us about, your restaurant's history?
Yeah, so we have been open since 1992. We're located in Central Phoenix. So we've been open for about 32 years, and we sell Native American cuisine, and we're known for our fry bread tacos.
Awesome. And can you tell us about those? What is that? What does that consist of?
Yeah, so we have, we make fry bread. Fry bread is made a variety of different ways from different tribes, but we make fry bread, fry it in oil. It's a bread, fry it in oil, and then our tacos are made of different things. For example, we have some with refried beans, beef, lettuce, cheese, onions, and sour cream. We fold it in half like a taco. It's huge though. It's huge. You have to kind of eat it with two hands, hold it with two hands because it's so big, and super filling too. Nobody leaves our restaurant hungry.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure folks are looking at the images right here on the screen. And I also want to ask you about this James Beard Award. I mean, that's no small feat. And I mean, your restaurant has received this. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we received it in 2012, the James Beard Award for American Classics. It was an amazing award. I mean, an amazing surprise to receive the award. We didn't know that we had been nominated. My mom, who started the restaurant, did not know what James Beard was. I mean, she started a restaurant at 53 years old. By the time she received the, award, she was in her late 60s, had no idea. And, initially thought it was a scam when they said, we want to fly you and one other person in New York because you've won this award, So anyway, it's really brought an awareness to Native American food, and we were the first Native American restaurant to win the award. So that was a big deal for us, a big deal in the Native American community, and we just really appreciated the James Beard Award. I mean, the James Beard Foundation really looking at Native American food and honoring it in that way.
Yeah, I mean, I could even tell you myself, I don't know of any restaurant here in the city of Houston that serves Native American food. So that's just great that even back in 2012, you were already receiving these awards, and you were already known.
Yeah.
So tell me how Native American heritage plays into the cuisine of your restaurant. I mean, any other plates that you serve that are already delved into the history?
Yeah, I mean, so let me back up. I am a member of the Thanatham Nation, which is my mother was Thanatham, member of the Thanatham Nation as well, which is really located in in southern Arizona, so kind of by the border. So originally, like our tribe, we were as north as Phoenix, we were south as Sonora, east to the Gulf of California, and then, east to the San Pedro River, and then west to the Gulf of California. And so when we think of Native cuisine for Thanathams, it also blends into Mexico, because that's how far south our land went before the United States lines were drawn and, really separated our tribal members. So when we, at our restaurant, we have different types of food that reflect that. So in addition to fry bread, we have red chili. We're known for our red chili beef, our red chili stew, which is beef slow cooked for hours, mixed in with red chili pods, tender. It's amazing on any day, but especially in the wintertime. And then we also make our tortillas homemade. But what we do is the Atham tortillas are really big. They're not small flour tortillas. They're really, really large. And so, pull off a little piece of tortilla, dunk it in the stew, and you're ready to go.
I mean, now I'm seeing like a pattern here. You said that the fried bread tacos are really big. The
Yeah.
tortillas are really big. Is there a reason for this? I mean, is that like a thing?
No, I guess it's just, we like to eat, and I think it's just, when you have to when you're serving family or you're serving people, you don't like natives. We don't like people to leave our homes hungry. And so I guess that's maybe a unconscious strategy.
Jenny, I've got a question. I've heard you talking about the food, and it sounds like it parallels to Mexican cuisine or Tex-Mex cuisine. I mean, we've got tacos down here, tortillas. The stew sounds like this. The stew sounds like carne asada. Very similar to that. Do you see similarities, or did Mexican cuisine take on Native American cuisine as well?
I mean, here's the thing: when you are living in and around the similar area and sharing similar land, there's naturally going to be influences. And in the same way, for example, like French cuisine is in New Orleans. French cuisine is heavily influenced in the South. So I think that's natural to do that. And I think I definitely think, especially in Arizona, Southern Arizona, and Phoenix, you definitely see the intersection of Native cuisine and the Hispanic cuisine.
Can't go wrong with that, man.
Yeah,
right.
No, we love our Tex-Mex food over here, and I mean, hopefully one day we get to see something like more with the Native American traditions here in the city of Houston. Let me also delve into you were featured in this great show, Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives with Guy Fieri. Tell us about that. That must have been a great experience, right?
Yeah, it was amazing. First of all, Guy is just wonderful, and it was go through a process to be selected, and so we were thrilled when we were selected. And filming hadn't been through anything like that before. It was really insightful. The team was great, and and then naturally we saw a pop in business and people wanting to come in and excited that Guy was there and just to taste the food. And we were excited to share our food, really just being able to have that exposure again for Native American cuisine. It's not necessarily about us. And by the way, fry bread is just such a small part of Native American cuisine. There are so many different tribes across the U.S., First Nations in Canada, that have food that's specific to their region. And so it's been amazing, but I think I would just say, there's other Native restaurants that have opened up across the U.S. That reflect their tribal food and that's indigenous to their area. And, I think it's a really exciting time to be serving Native food and Native cuisine.
Yeah. And I know earlier you told us on the show that, the restaurant was founded by your mom, who unfortunately recently passed away. So our condolences on that. Tell us about your family and what have been that tradition, because I feel like that's one of the reasons why people get into the restaurant business, to share basically your traditions and your meals that you've kind of grew up on.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the condolences. They're big shoes to fill. My mom was really a pioneer and just a really hard worker, humble woman, amazing woman too. And so it really is a family business. So it's not just me, it's other family members who are in on the day-to-day, operations, whether, my brother kind of acts as a CFO. We've got another brother who does our property management, another brother who, does, finances and stuff. So anyway, it really is a family affair.
Yeah.
And a commitment, after 32 years, it's really a commitment to the community. And being part of the fabric of the Native community here in Phoenix is a real honor. And it's a big responsibility, though, as you said.
No, I bet. Yeah, and I'm familiar to that. But my parents have a restaurant too, so
oh, really?
With you, so I feel
cool.
How it's all a family ordeal, really. At the end of the day.
So and it's 24/7. There are no days off. There's
Really?
always something coming up, But that's what makes it's really a love of food and family.
Yeah. And finally, I want to ask you, like I said, and I've never had Native food, so. Is there any way out-of-towners can order your food to be shipped or anything like that?
Oh, gosh, you know what? I don't think so. But you know what? You're planting a seed of an idea in me. I think that's something that we need to figure out. I would love to. And I don't, but that's something I've got to look into. What a great idea.
Maybe some tortillas. You just have like a big thing of the big tortillas or something.
You know, you better be looking for your doorstep. There might be a package there soon.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jennifer Miller. She is the co-owner of Fry Bread House and our Tasty Tuesday guest. We'll have all of your info on our post after the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much for spending some time to celebrate Native American Heritage Month. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. All right. So coming up next, we have a quick commercial break, and Todd and I will return with some news and announcements. So stay tuned.
At Houston Community College, we make your lessons matter. Open the door to real-world education, where passions become careers. Find out more at hccs.edu and let your success take flight.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Welcome back to Up to the Minute. Todd Duplantis here with Benji, my co-host, and we're live this Tuesday morning, believe it or not. We've got some events happening across the district. One of them talking transfers about all U of H campuses. HCC students can learn how to transfer to the University of Houston system of their choice by speaking to reps from the UH Central, Clear Lake, Downtown, and Victoria. Noon to 2 p.m. Wednesday, tomorrow, November 13th at HCC Central Harmon Building. We'll have some information in our post after the show. And wonderful Wednesdays, they just keep getting wonderfuler.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah. Students in the market for a job can meet employers hiring for part and full-time positions every Wednesday. This helps them explore prospects and discover new career pathways. This will take place Wednesday, November 13th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. From clinics to courts, careers in health and sports, HCC East Side Student Life Building. That was a little mouthful there. Sorry about that. So see our post after the show for more info. And I know a music recital is coming up, right?
That's right, Benji. HCC music students will perform repertoire that they have studied and prepared during the current semester, showcasing their development and skills. At 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, November 13th. Also tomorrow, busy day tomorrow. Lots going on. HCC's Spring Branch Performing Arts Center. Check our post for more info. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, Benji, it's Spring 2025 is upon us.
Yes, it is. The deadline to register to participate in the fall graduation ceremony is this week. So don't miss it if you want to walk the stage on December 13th. The deadline to register is for Friday, which is this Friday, actually, November 15th. So go ahead and sign up and check our post after the show for a link for that.
Make sure you do it. Talent Engagement's having a workshop, lunch and learn. I imagine they'll have lunch in recognition of international fraud awareness. This webinar will increase HCC fraud awareness knowledge, define what fraud is, explain why it happens, all types of stuff. All HCC employees are welcome to attend. I guess there won't be lunch. It's a WebEx, so maybe they'll send it to you. I don't quote me on that because that ain't happening. 11:30 a.m. Wednesday, November the 20th. Please use your HCC email address when registering. Check our post how to do so. And as we mentioned, graduation coming up for the fall, spring, right around the corner.
Yes, Registration for the spring semester has now started, with classes being offered in a variety of programs and in various semester lengths. HCC's courses are also offered in a range of modalities, including online anytime, online on a schedule, hybrid, in-person, hybrid lab. We got you covered. To learn more about HCC program start dates and options to cover costs, please visit hccs.edu/apply.
So tomorrow we'll discuss the book, The Power of Moments, and how faculty members can use its lessons in their interactions with students. And Dr. Christina Robinson.
Yeah, we do know Dr.
She's going to be here tomorrow as
Oh,
well.
awesome.
She's got a new MOU signing for the Gulf Coast apprenticeship roles. That's exciting. So more jobs for our students. So tune in tomorrow. Benji won't be here till when? When you're back again? Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
All right. So you got another week without him. Will we make it? One way or another, we'll be back live tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. with Up to the Minute. We'll see you then.